2025-13. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-13 is second ordinance to amend the 2024 fiscal year budget for the city of Fort Oglethorpe. It is hereby ordained by the Mayor and Council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe a second ordinance to amend the 2024 fiscal year budget to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this second ordinance to amend the 2024 fiscal year budget? Mayor, doesn't appear anyone's present.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. The next item on our public hearing is a public hearing for ordinance number 2025-14. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Be it ordained by the Mayor and Council for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance for tax parcel number 0010C0271161 Steel Road, Rossville, Georgia 30741, requested by the applicant K.A. Steel LLC to amend the zoning of said parcel from an R1 zoning to an R5 zoning, to amend the official zoning map for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of ordinance 2025-14? If you would go to the podium, state your last name and spell your last name for me, sir.
Last name Blackwood, B-L-A-C-K-W-O-O-D.
Your first name?
Derek,
Thank you, sir.
D-E-R-E-K.
Please.
I've got a few drawings to pass out as a clarification from our original submittal, if I can. I'll let everybody pass those around before I start. While that's getting passed around, again, my name's Derek Blackwood. I am the civil engineer on the project with MAP Engineers. And I'm going to kind of go over the whole project that involves the rezoning as well as some of the variances, just to kind of provide some clarification on some items. Just like I said, there's been some modifications since Planning Commission. So starting off, we are proposing to rezone the subject parcel from R1 to R5 for townhouse units. The original submittal was for 33 units. We've since reduced that down to 31 to be in compliance with the 7.5 units per acre density requirement for the R5 zone. Again, these are townhomes, proposing a decel lane coming in off Steel Road and having the townhome network, as you see, coming in through here. We've got some open space. Again, the open space is a part of the discussion that's going to come up for a variance. The original open space was much less. In reducing the number of units, we've since increased the percentage of open space. Right now it's at about 26, a little over 26%, so we're still a little under the 30% requirement. But I would say that all the surrounding zones that you see that adjoin this property are R5, so we're in compliance or in keeping with the surrounding zones. Those developments, they don't have the open space that we're proposing, so we're providing this as an amenity for the development. We've also got in here a landscape buffer, and so kind of circling back, one of the variances also on this was to have a reduced landscape buffer on the western property line from a type A to a type C. We since learned, since our original submittal, we learned that the western property was rezoned to R5. So what we didn't know at the time we submitted that it was already R5 as of January of this year. So effectively what's happened is the requirement for the type A buffer goes away since the adjacent property is like zoned. But we still want to, as a benefit to the community and to the development, we wanted to continue with the 10-foot landscape buffer around the entire perimeter of the development, which, as I might note, is not included in the open space design or open space calculation. So I think with what we've got, a lot of the variances look to be moot. The only one that really is left is the open space. And if you incorporate open space with the amenity area and the landscaping, that it is above the 30%, although we didn't include that buffer in that calculation. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have, try to clarify anything, to kind of catch you up to speed from what's come out of the Planning Commission meeting.
So just to be clear, it appears, Mr. Blackwood, that you sort of addressed all three public hearings, because each one of your
Sure.
applications has to have its own public hearing. So I just
We can come back and discuss however
fine. I
we
just
need
want to make
to.
sure that we were all on, like, he's addressing both variances and the rezoning all at one time.
Figured that might be a little easier, and
Sure.
then we can
We appreciate that.
address as needed.
Is these one story, 2 stories?
I think they're probably going to be 2-story.
Why wouldn't the 10-foot landscape buffer be included in the open space calculation?
It, just simply because of R5 to R5, so we're good without it.
But I'm saying, if he's 26% and the requirement's 30%, the 10-foot would get him well over 30%.
Yes, sir, it would.
But I'm saying, Bobby, is that a,
So, a open space typically has to be designated for public use and recreation. So, if it's a landscape buffer, that's not the same as having an open field that people can build a Frisbee on or whatever, that kind of thing.
okay.
So that's the difference. I mean, UDC is not 100% clear on how you would count that, but that's the way we interpret it,
Okay. But he would have more than 30%.
Yeah.
if you count it.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. And I would
No
say
building on more than
Yeah.
30%, yes.
given that it wasn't a requirement, since the surrounding zones are like zoned, we felt like that to leave it was a benefit to the community itself. So while it's not technically included in the open
Required.
space design, we felt that that was something to point out.
I don't have any other questions.
These units rental, or are you selling them?
To my knowledge, I think they'd probably be a rental community.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll call you back up. Is there anyone else that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2025-14? Mayor, doesn't appear anyone's present.
Thank you, Ms. Stoltz. Our next public hearing is a public hearing for ordinance number 2025-15. Ms. Stoltz.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-15, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning variance ordinance for tax parcel number 0010C0271161 Steel Road, Rossville, Georgia 30741, requested by the applicant K.A. Steel LLC for an open space reduction from required 30% to 18.5% for development of 33 townhome projects, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mr. Blackwood, would you like to come back up?
Hang out up here if that would be easier. I think, again, this would just be an amendment to the proposal. Instead of the reduction from 30% to 18.5, it would be 30% to 26.3 as shown on the proposed site plan that you have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2025-15? Mayor, doesn't appear anyone's present.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 4 is public hearing for ordinance number 2025-16. Mr. Stoltz.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, ordinance number 2025-16 is not necessary. It has been determined that the adjoining property is R5. This will be, if rezoned an R5, and so there will not be a necessity for ordinance number 2025-16 to go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. That concludes our public hearing for tonight. At this time, we'll call our regularly scheduled council meeting to order. Mr. Stoltz, if you would, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mayor Earl Gray.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhonda James.
Here.
Councilman Derek Rogers.
Here.
Councilman Jim Childs.
Here.
Councilman Craig Crawford.
Here.
Council Lady Paula Stennett.
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Let the record show we do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. This time we do our invocation and our pledge. Ms. James, if you would do the invocation. Ms. Childs, lead us to the pledge, please.
Let us pray. Lord, we ask you to be with us tonight as we make the decisions best for the city. We always ask for the safety of our citizens and our employees, and we pray for our country. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we'll set the agenda for tonight's meeting. Under ordinances, we will be removing ordinance number 2025-16. And we will also be adding a recognition from Mr. Crawford. Everyone's in agreement. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs and second by Mr. Crawford. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is set. Mr. Crawford. You're introducing the wrestling.
Oh, well, I'm not. I'm going to turn it over to Coach Ellis, but I just wanted to move it up so all these people, they've been in school all day long, so they don't have to sit through a boring meeting.
That's fine, sir. You got the floor. You do what you want to with it.
Tony, why don't
Tony.
you come forward and introduce the wrestling team?
Okay. Sure when you wanted me to do that.
We called an audible.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, tonight we're here, we're going to recognize the LFO high school wrestling teams. I think this year they had a girls team and a boys team. And Coach Donnie Welburn, who's done a great job with them through the years. He's been at LFO, I don't want to say how many years, but a long time. And he's a good friend of mine. And we're going to ask Coach Welburn to come up and talk about his wrestling team and just tell us a little bit about the season they had and about his kids. It's Coach Welburn. By the way, he's got a nice haircut, too.
Looking good, Donnie.
First of all, I'd like to thank the City Council for recognizing the wrestling programs. They certainly have earned that right for sure. Appreciate that. I guess I'll start off with the boys first. This has been a season for records, and a lot of history has been made this year with the boys team. First of all, we had 8 area finalists out of 14 weight classes. We had 8 in the finals. 4 of those went on to be area champions, which is also another school record. We had the area champions being Blake Rizzo, Jonas Watkins, Noah Gross, and Zach Bailey. We also had 5 state placers, which is another school record. And our following state placers included Jonas Watkins finished 4th, Noah Gross 5th, Zach Bailey 4th, Tamoris Johnson 3rd, and Keegan Kinsey finished 6th. Keegan also set a school record for most wins this year with 49 wins, and that's a record I expect to stand for a mighty long time. Another record, which is a really great record to be talking about, is 4 of our state qualifiers will be returning next year, so got a lot to look forward to in the future. All these kids ended up making the local dream team, along with Rizzo and Caden Carter, and we're very proud of all that they have accomplished. And as a team, the team did manage a 10th place finish in the state wrestling tournament, which has been a long time since we've been up there in that area. So I'd like to congratulate the boys on a fantastic season.
Are they here?
They are here.
Stand
If
up.
you guys would like to stand up.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And I guess a lot of people are still realizing we do have girls wrestling now in the state of Georgia. It is the fastest growing sport in the state. We are in our 2nd year, and we've had a lot of success come to us really fast. And, you know, that's pretty much a result of the hard work and effort these young ladies have put into this program for sure. But this year, the girls ended up with an 18-6 record. They finished 2nd in the area duels, losing in the finals based on criteria. Basically, we didn't have enough girls. We have fewer girls than the other team did, so they lost that match. But basically, that means we had more pins. So I wish they'd kind of changed that around a little bit, you know. But anyways, they also went on to finish 6th out of 35 teams in the traditional area tournament, which is pretty impressive. And we also had, for the first time, 3 girls state qualifiers, which includes Macy Higgins, Aubrey Madrano, and Isla Rizvik. Isla was 1 match away from being LFO's first state placer, by the way. And also on top of that, all those girls made the local dream team, along with Spencer Sandlin, Mac Hammondtree, and Macy Tisdale. So I'm very proud of the girls. I feel like they've accomplished a lot. And that being said, all the girls will be returning next year as well, so the future looks really bright for the girls and boys wrestling programs.
They here?
They are here. Girls, if you would stand up, please.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank y'all. Good year.
Picture before.
Well, let's take a picture before you guys head out.
Hey, I'd like to say something about their coach, and I don't know many people that are
Watch it
familiar
now.
with the wrestling community in our area. The Welber name is royalty. I mean, between you and your brother, what, we got 5, 6 state championships?
2.
2?
You know, it's like those fishing stories. You know.
But they are. And Coach, you took it back over, 4 years ago and had to build it from the ground up? And
Yes, sir. Yes, this is my 5th year back.
5th year back, and we had a year or two where we didn't even have it, didn't we?
Well, it was down quite a bit before I returned. We've been very fortunate. You know, these kids basically put the work in the summertime, and I just try to keep it between the roads, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Coach.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Take a picture.
Yeah, let's go and take pictures.
If you kind of get in the crooks of the
Come on up.
of the circle right here, that'd be awesome.
And with all these wrestlers, we'll stay up here.
Yeah.
Unless the baby comes, and then I want to hold him.
In front of the council and face me.
Come on, Robbie.
Here. Y'all get up here, please. I get it back.
Coach.
Hey, guys, can I get you guys to come around here just a little bit? Let's fill in right here.
Tough group right here, boy.
Yep. We'll go to battle with these guys. Go with it, not against them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to ask the guys down front to pretend like you like each other. There you go. Oh my goodness, so much easier. All right. So we're going to get the official pictures here. Are there any parents that want to jump in and grab some pictures real quick?
Sit on that front real quick,
You'll just jump up and do that real quick?
Yeah.
How many more Rizzos are there?
I hope so many. Coolest thing
Feathers
ever.
up, everybody.
It's feathers.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
The Warriors.
Go with her.
They're tired.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Robin. Motorcycle wreck.
Thank you.
Here now. Yeah, I put it in there for you. They're laying on the.
Okay.
All righty, we'll continue with our regularly scheduled meeting. Our next item is the minutes from our previous council meeting. If members of council have had an opportunity to review the minutes from our March 24th meeting, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is proclamation. Ms. Stinnett.
Yes, sir. As part of our Tree City USA agreement with the state of Georgia, Department of Forestry, we have to do a proclamation each and every year. Throughout the years, this is our 9th year, by the way, Tree City USA has pro, and on the second row are the Veteran Citizen Council. They also constitute Tree City USA, so they're joining us this evening. This is our proclamation, Tree City USA, Arbor Day 2025, 9th year. Whereas the first Arbor Day was celebrated in 1872 as a special day for planting trees and has grown to thousands of celebrations in communities across our nation and throughout the world each year. And whereas Arbor Day is a day set aside for schools, civic clubs, and other organizations, as well as individuals, to reflect on the importance of trees in our state and across our nation. Georgia Arbor Day is in February because it is the ideal time to plant trees in our state. And whereas community partners, families, and friends will be joined together at a local Arbor Day ceremony each year to celebrate the city of Fort Oglethorpe becoming a Tree City USA and to recognize the benefits of trees in urban forest. And whereas trees improve public health, air and water quality, reduce the erosion of precious topsoil, increase property values and economic vitality in business areas, increase energy efficiency through shade, habitat for wildlife, and beauty to communities. And whereas trees play a critical role in creating healthier, safer, and more connected communities. They clean our air, filter our water, and even slow storm surge and flooding in our cities. Trees also provide shade and cool our cities by up to 10 degrees, which can help prevent heat-related deaths in urban areas. And whereas Georgia's forestry industry consistently delivers strong results for our economy with a total economic activity generated by the state's forestry industry of more than $36.2 billion, supporting more than 148,000 jobs in Georgia. From everyday products such as lumber and paper to environmental services such as clean air, clean water, and wildlife habitat, Georgia's forests impact everyone. And whereas Brian Kemp, Governor of the state of Georgia, proclaimed an Arbor Day in Georgia and encourages our citizens to plant trees, thus leaving a legacy for present and future generations. Now, therefore, he, Earl Gray, Mayor of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, do hereby proclaim an Arbor Day celebration to be held on April 26, 2025 at Honor Park, a tribute to those who serve in the City of Fort Oglethorpe. Witness Earl Gray, Paula Stinnett, Council. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. Item number 1 is third and final reading for ordinance number 2025-13. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-13, a second ordinance to amend the 2024 fiscal year budget for the city of Fort Oglethorpe. It is hereby ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a second ordinance to amend the 2024 fiscal year budget to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2025-13.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. James. Is there any discussion? Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2 is the first reading of ordinance number 2025-14. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-14 be ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment ordinance for tax parcel number 0010C0271161 Steel Road, Rossville, Georgia 30741, requested by the applicant K.A. Steel LLC to amend the zoning of said parcel from an R1 zoning to an R5 zoning, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 3, the first reading of ordinance number 2025-15. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. 2025-15 be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning variance ordinance for tax parcel number 0010C0271161 Steel Road, Rossville, Georgia 30741, requested by the applicant K.A. Steel LLC for an open space reduction from a required 30% to an 18.5% for development of 33 townhome unit project, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 5, first reading of ordinance number 2025-17. Mr. Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-17, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, an ordinance to amend the city of Fort Oglethorpe Code of Ordinances, Chapter 95, Utilities, Article 2, Water and Sewer, Section 9436B4, to repeal conflicting ordinances, to set an effective date, and for other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1, request for a deadline extension to obtain a temporary certificate of occupancy for liquor store to be located on Lafayette Road. This item was tabled from our March 24th, 2025 meeting. Mr. Wall?
Well, we would like to request instead of a 60-day, a 90-day extension on our, to get our TCO. I think we can get it in 60, but just to be on the safe side. We're asking for 90 days.
So just to recap, their initial deadline their extended deadline to receive a temporary certificate of occupancy was April 30th, 2025.
So this would be 90 days from April 30th.
Yes, I believe
July?
July 31st would be the deadline to get a TCO.
Well, does that mean it's open?
No, a temporary certificate of occupancy has to be obtained from us for this particular location so that they can then go to the state and get their liquor license.
Which is another.
It depends. It just depends on how quickly the state moves.
So you feel confident in 90 days everything will be ready?
Yes, sir.
Right. That's all I got.
Keep updating this paper every time you come before.
Yes, ma'am.
This is last time, right?
Yes, ma'am. So,
I'm just saying.
Any other questions? I would recommend to the council, with y'all's approval, we've been pretty patient with this thing. And I don't mind giving them the 90-day extension, but I would recommend you put an option that at the end of that 90 days, there will be a penalty imposed daily for each day after that.
Yeah,
Agreed.
in favor of that.
Everybody okay with that? Anybody got any questions?
So just to clarify, the decision before you all would be TCO by July 31st, and then on August 1st, the penalty gets imposed.
Correct.
Okay,
Until TCO is
obtained.
obtained.
Correct.
I think that's doable.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Mayor, that would be a motion, and you'd need a vote on that.
Well, I'm fixing to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All in good time.
Does Mr. Chowdhury understand it?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Okay.
Amount of the number for penalties.
Well, that would be determined by the council. What we're voting on tonight is the fact if you're not done within that 90-day period, then they will set the amount of that fine that will be imposed on you each day after. Everybody clear on it?
Yes, sir.
Get busy.
All right, I have a motion.
Motion.
Second, sir.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Ms. Stinnett. Any other discussion? We'll roll call this so we'll make it official. Mr. Child?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Now, this is voting whether or not we're going to impose this or whether or not we're going to extend it.
Both.
Both. We are
No.
going to extend him his 90 days that he requested. However, each day that he goes past that will be a fine imposed, determined by y'all at the end of that 90-day period.
Okay, I vote no to an extension. So I guess that negates the fine.
No to an extension. Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Item number 2, request by the Veteran and Citizen Council to donate a permanent sign at Honor Park.
Sir, this is retired Navy Chief Jerry Hamons, who has served as the chairman of the Veteran and Citizen Council for the past decade. What he has to show us is the potential, and I think everyone has a picture of it in their books, of our sign. If council so chooses and approves, this is the design that has been chosen for the permanent sign at Honor Park, a tribute to those who serve. And Chief, tell them about that. This is heavy.
This is
Don't drop it.
This is natural stone. That way, if it's damaged or anything, it goes all the way through the stone. It actually, it will not, it will show the course of the stone itself, and not something like this that's damaged, then you got concrete looking behind it. So we're trying to look out where it'll be good for the future.
Where are y'all gonna put it?
We're proposing right at the entrance of Honor Park, where the city has the smaller sign right now,
Yeah.
where it will be presentable when people are coming, driving in,
Yeah.
or walking across it on the bridge.
So it'll go both.
Yeah.
That'll be front and back.
It'll be both sides. If you're
Okay.
walking into the park from the
So where
far
that metal
road.
sign is right now that has
Yeah.
the flag on it,
Uh-huh.
right there.
That'll be it,
Yeah,
right
that'll
there
look
in
good.
that circular area. You'll be able to see it from both sides coming into the park.
It looks awesome. It's beautiful.
It's about $20,000, the bids that we've got. The Veteran Citizen Council, these people you see before you, have saved for 10 years. They have worked football games, they have sold their pavers, they have applied for grants, they've received donations in all their efforts and saved up for the past decade in order to give this sign to the city of Fort Oglethorpe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it going to be lit?
Right now, remember, we got $27,000 worth of lighting donated from Georgia North Georgia Electric. One of those signs, the lights does come across almost over it, so it will be naturally lit by the lights that are already there.
And if and when the council, once the council approves it, the donation of the sign, it would be placed on the city's insurance policy once it's been installed, and the city will maintain the sign as if it was one of our own that we had installed.
Chief Hamons will serve as the project manager.
Sounds good.
Congratulations,
Did you know
Chief.
that? Did you know that?
Well, and to make that a little easier on him, Public Works will be preparing the site as well. So the
Yes.
Public Works Department will prepare the site so that VCC won't have to do it all on their own.
Yeah, right.
If there's power close, it'd be a good idea to just go ahead and run power into the.
Because there are homes close to it where the sign will go, it's not, the conditions aren't ideal to light that part of it, but Ms. Stinnett is correct that it is pretty well lit with the lighting inside the park.
Sounds good.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Wait,
Thank you all.
who made the motion?
I don't know.
I did.
When you said he was project manager, I got my
Okay,
vote.
Project manager.
All right. You guys want a picture with council?
I don't ever ask for a motion.
Yeah?
I just ask for approval.
Before you leave out?
Just asked her.
All right. Let's do it.
What'd he say?
Hey, hey. Oh, okay. She goes, y'all want pictures with council? The start of the sign. All right. Here, Colonel.
Hang on to that.
They can see you for sure. 6'5".
Yeah.
Squeeze on in there, there you go.
Don't get too close here.
Nice to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
you, guys.
Thank you, VCC.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Enjoy.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Well,
Take care.
getting fewer and fewer people.
Item number 3, under new business, recommendation to reappoint Downtown Development Authority Board. Ms. Hugh.
Thank you. 3 of our members of the DDA, Jeff Epperson, Bob Dial, and Charles Faulkner, their terms have come up and they have been voted on for reappointment by the DDA. Jeff Epperson has served on the DDA board since 2010. He's currently the board's chairman. He is a business owner in the historic district. Bob Dial has served on the DDA board since 2014. He's a longtime business owner in the city, and he also is a city of Fort Oglethorpe resident. And Charles Faulkner has served on the DDA board since 2020, and he is also a business owner in the downtown historic district. All 3 of these gentlemen have worked very hard for a very long time to move the DDA's mission forward. And the board has voted to reappoint these 3 members, and they're appointed to 4-year terms, and if approved, those terms would expire in April of 2029.
Thank you, Ms. Hugh. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Crawford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, recommendation to award an annual contract for mowing and landscape services. Ms. Hugh.
Thank you. For the last year, we've had a landscaping and mowing contract in some of our green spaces in and around City Hall and some of the green spaces throughout the city. That's been rather successful. This year, we put that contract out for bid again, and the winning bidder was the Lawn Father in the amount of $39,800. The bid was for weed eating and mowing in all of our public spaces, as listed below: the City Hall complex, Bark City Dog Park, Honor Park, and the walking trail from the flagpole to Van Cleve, and including the creek banks, the polo fields, and the Welcome Center, the city rights of way around Barnhart Circle, Stable 41 and other city-owned buildings on 1st and 2nd Streets, and the Battlefield Parkway Canoe Launch and Walking Trail. If approved, this contract will be for weekly service for an entire year. That's been successful thus far, and if approved, it would come out of the general fund.
Did I hear an amount?
Yes, $39,800.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, recommendation to approve the contract for municipal court solicitor services. Ms. Hume.
These next two items deal with the appointment of 2 solicitors to the court. Sadly, our longtime solicitor, Pat Clemens, passed away last month, or was it early? It was last month. Yeah, gosh, it's so fast. J. Matthew Williamson has been our assistant solicitor for a couple of years now. He has agreed to move up to Mr. Clemens' old position and fulfill the role of solicitor for the municipal court. If approved, this contract would provide that same rate of pay as the previous solicitor amount and would fulfill the obligations of this calendar year to December 31st, 2025 at $350 per session, with the expectation of 2 sessions per court date and 2 court dates a month. So that's in the estimated amount of $11,900 coming out of the general fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 6, recommendation to award a contract for municipal court assistant solicitor service. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. Mr. Williamson was previously our assistant solicitor, as he has now been elevated to the position of solicitor. That leaves that assistant solicitor position open. Douglas Woodruff, who is an attorney who has practiced in Ringgold and Rossville as well. He meets the requirements to prosecute cases in Georgia, and he has agreed to be the assistant solicitor for our municipal court. Again, it's that same rate of pay as the previous contract amount, $350 per session, with the expectation that the assistant solicitor would be available for approximately 2 sessions per month. And that contract would go until the end of this calendar year as well. And that's in the estimated amount of $5,950 coming out of the general fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Bennett, second by Mr. Childs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7, recommendation to renew an agreement for continual water and wastewater rate management software. Ms. Hugh.
Thank you. For the past, since 2023, the city has used water and wastewater rate management software from the company Waterworth. The software has allowed the city to monitor rates and better project our cash flows in the water and sewer fund and for the reserves, and to plan for capital improvements or things that just pop up. It proactively renews and replaces, it guides you on how to proactively renew and replace aging infrastructure, and it ensures that our services kind of stay affordable to our community. The software is used by both the Finance and the Public Utilities Department to project those future rate increases as well as the cash flow. And this year's renewal includes a special project support from Waterworth for additional analyses, which would allow us to better evaluate the cost to provide services and how to maintain and enhance and broaden the system that we currently have. That's $10,700 to the company Waterworth, coming out of the Water and Sewer Fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Item number 8, recommendation to procure a flow monitoring and manhole inspection study. Ms. Hune.
Thank you. In 2022, the city engaged Duke's Group Control to perform a flow monitoring and manhole inspection study to address some of the challenges with inflow and infiltration that we experience in our system in about approximately 37% of the city's wastewater system. When many of those recommendations were performed, we experienced a significant reduction in the overall amount of inflow and infiltration that was treated, and it resulted in overall cost savings to the city. Before you all now is a recommendation to put that study into place in the remaining 63% of the system. The The study would show where specific wastewater lines and manholes need rehab, rehabilitation, repair. And Duke's Root Control is currently the contract holder for the Houston-Galveston Area Buying Board. It's a cooperative bidding program that's used by municipal governments across the country to kind of expedite projects. If approved, the city would engage Duke's to perform the study throughout the rest of our system, and that work could begin at the beginning of May. And the Water and Sewer Fund reserves will be used to pay for this study, so we'd be taking money that we saved and putting it back into the system to benefit our customers. And that would be in the estimated amount of $718,650 coming out of the Water and Sewer Fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9, notification of emergency motor repairs at the Ann Drive Pump Station. Ms. Hume.
All right, so these next 3 items are about an emergency event that took place at Ann Drive over the course of the last 6 weeks. The first item before you all is the repair of 2 motors at the Ann Drive Pump Station for RW Contractors in the amount of $13,541.10, and Chattanooga Industrial Motors in the estimated amount of $8,000 for a total emergency purchase amount of $21,541.10. As you all are aware, the Ann Drive system has had several repairs made to its aging motors over the course of the last few years. It's our largest pump station and it has to remain operable. We did purchase 2 motors a year ago to function as backup motors in the event of a catastrophic failure of the pumps in service, which were approximately 25 years old at the time. In the last 6 weeks, both backup motors had to be placed in service and both failed on 2 separate occasions. The demand on that station is significant. Both times, RW Contractors removed the mowers and provided emergency on-site repairs, and Chattanooga Industrial Motors provided diagnostic repairs and diagnostic services and off-site repairs per the warranty requirements. While each of those motors that's been taken out of service and worked on we're working through that warranty purchase, that warranty process. The pump station must remain operable, so we do have a bypass pump station, which we'll talk about in a moment, to keep the station functioning at capacity. So that is 1 emergency purchase to repair those motors in the estimated amount of $21,541.10 coming out of the Water and Sewer Fund.
Do we believe these motors?
Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Crawford and a second by Mr. Childs. Any discussion?
The motors that we're repairing, are they like defective, do you think, or will we be able to get them going?
I don't, whatever happens to those motors, they're going to become our backup motors. They will go back to being our backup motors. They function on a different rail system. They're a 4-inch discharge, and the station simply demands a higher amount of discharge than what we've had. Just the capacity of that station has increased over the years. I don't know if the motors are defective. We're working through that process at the moment.
Because it sounds like what you said is we had motors for 25 years that worked.
They needed a lot of repairs, but yes.
Yeah, but we put these in and they failed in the first week.
What was the warranty on them,
It was 5
Mr.
years.
Johnson? Sir?
5 years.
So we should get 2 replaced at no charge.
We're working through that process now.
Did they fail because of just failing or because it was too much load?
I don't think it was too much load.
Because that ain't gonna.
They don't make them like they used to.
That's probably true.
That's what I was getting.
Well, if it's too much load, it ain't gonna help being backup motors
yes,
anyway.
so they're
True.
there you go. But again, if those motors, if they can be repaired, we will put them into service as our backup motors, but we're going to move away from this type of motor going forward.
But it goes back, if it's too much load, those backup motors ain't gonna help. They're gonna do it again.
And that's why we're going to increase the capacity, like instead of those old motors were a 4-inch discharge, we're going to now upgrade to a 6-inch discharge because the capacity of the station as the years have gone by has just increased. That's where Walmart feeds into. There's all kinds of stuff that is not wastewater in that pump station that has to push through the system.
Okay.
Perfect.
Any other discussion? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10, we'll stay on the topic here. Notification of an emergency procurement of 2 motors and a rail system for the end-drive pump station. Ms. Hughes.
So, as we just talked about, and Councilman Rogers asked the question, we're not going to put those same motors back into place. We're going to upgrade to a 6-inch discharge motor. Because the station is the largest that we have, and because there is a significant lead time on how long it takes those motors to be built and delivered, we did go ahead and have to order them to get them working. That was, I mean, we're already 3 weeks into an 8-week process at this point. So this is a notification of the emergency procurement of 2 motors for the end-drive pump station at Southern Sales in the amount of $115,720 or $57,860 per motor, and a rail system from RW Contractors in the estimated amount of $35,000 for a total estimated amount of $150,720. And again, both of these motors have 5-year warranties. These are larger motors than we have had before, so the discharge will be better. And like I said, we're going from a 4-inch to a 6-inch, which requires a different rail system to guide the motors into the system and be pulled out. And that would come out of the water and sewer fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. Childs. Any discussion? Mr. Johnson. The motors that failed, were they 4-inch or 6-inch?
4.
So are we gonna have them repair those 4-inch when what we're actually needing is a 6-inch?
So that's a good question.
We are leaving the rail system, one rail system in that will service a 4-inch.
The station can accommodate 3 rail systems and 3 motors, not all to be in service at once, but in a pinch, we want to leave the 4-inch rail system in the event that we had to drop a 4-inch motor in there. And we might as well keep that one rail system and not expend the money to remove it and not have another option in place. So our backup motor would be 4 inches. The regular motors that go into place would be 6, and there would be 2 of those.
So how much more money to replace that to where they would both be 6-inch rail systems?
Well,
I mean, we're spending a ton here, and surely we're gonna get money back from the 4-inch.
So we are putting in 2 rail systems, 2 guide rail systems for 2 6-inch motors, plus the one motor for the 4-inch rail system will stay intact. So there will be 2 rail systems for 2 6-inch motors that will go into the station to operate at the same time. The station should operate with 2 motors. For a large majority of the time that I've been with this city, and Drive has been operating with only 1 motor, because of just different issues at play at different times.
So the rail system is $35,000.
That's correct.
So to his point.
For 2 rail systems.
But if we change the other one, 2.
Should be about $17,000.
So you'd have 3 6-inch, but then
we'd all have,
We'd have
I mean, I'm just thinking out for the future.
third motor.
We
Well,
have to buy a third motor.
Anyway.
We would have to buy a third motor.
Well, but they're gonna
that is
give
6
us
inches.
some money for the 4-inch motor, so we won't need it anymore. We'll need another.
Well, I don't know that they're going to give us money.
They're not voluntarily.
They're not going to voluntarily give. They will repair the motor. They will not give us money for the motor. They will give us the 4-inch motor back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we're working through that warranty
So what if we
process.
traded them in for a 6-inch motor and changed the rail? How much more money is that?
Well, the rail system costs for 2. It costs about. Well, and now imagine. We're going to have them remove one of the 4-inch rail systems, so that's all wrapped up in that $35,000.
Okay.
Is to put in 2 rail systems, to take out one, and to leave one alone. Now, if you wanted us to investigate the option of later down the road replacing that 4-inch system with a 6-inch rail system and buying a third motor that is 6-inch, we can definitely do that. But the cost of the motor is $57,860.
The reason to keep the one 4-inch is because that's what we'll get back from them as a 4-inch.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking down the future.
It's a backup motor for the 4-inch. You still don't have a backup motor for the 6-inch.
You got 2.
We'll buy 2, and the station should have 2. Now, if you all wanted to go back and then order 3, 6-inch, we would modify that. But the goal right now.
Let's make sure those 6-inch work.
Let's make sure the 6-inch works, yeah.
Let's get us running and then investigate. Yeah.
No, it's a fair question. It's a good question.
Your first cost is your lease, so.
Is that?
While they're in the yucky hole, you might as well just have them fix it now.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good plan, but I think let's make sure these work.
Okay, all right.
I agree with Derek on that.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, so the final.
I know it's all kind of went together, but we need to announce what it is. Item number 11, notification of the emergency installation of a bypass pump at the end drive pump station. Ms. Hugh.
Okay, so going back to that first emergency purchase item when the 2 motors failed. We had one motor while the other motor was in, and then the second motor failed. So the station then had no motors, which means we had to have a bypass pump put into place in the wee hours of the Saturday morning a couple weeks ago. The bypass pump will be in place for the duration until we get the motors in place and the rail system put in, and then input the new motors. That is from Sunbelt Rentals in the estimated amount of about $11,000 a week. That is at the top end. For a total amount, if this took 10 weeks, of $110,000. So that's coming out of the water and sewer fund.
Could be less, right?
It could be less. Phil thinks it'll be much less, actually.
Good.
Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. James.
What's that?
All right, let's discuss another factor here. I just got to ask this question. How much is a emergency bypass pump?
That is a great question. Mr. Johnson?
180,000.
180,000. We're going to spend 110,000 on this one.
You probably couldn't get one quickly though, could you?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't talking about replacing it right now,
But it's also keeping it, and if we only use it once every year or 2 years, it's the maintenance on it, and they go bad just sitting.
So to give you guys an idea of how, I mean, I'm sure that Mr. Crawford knows, but these are huge. These are trailer-sized pumps that are huge. So you have to pay to keep them, pay to store them, and all that stuff. Now, I don't think that it's a bad idea for us to consider that option down the road, but it is, at this moment, it's probably, we couldn't get one quick enough to buy one.
We're gonna have smooth flowing here in about 2 months.
6 inches of it.
Yeah. 2.
Well, 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Last but not least,
Let me guess, and drive.
Yes.
recommendation to award a blanket contract for the clean out of the end drive pump station well. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you. So Andrive, we have had Andrive for about 25 years now, and in that time it has not been cleaned out. I know it sounds counterintuitive to clean out a sewer well, but cleaning a wastewater well includes sampling the water, removing and hauling the matter that's in there, cleaning the well itself, making sure that the well stays maintained in a way that it is allowed to stay operable. This is an activity on a station of Andrive's size that should be undergone every 2 to 5 years. So this is the start of us doing that. So if approved, that 55-foot well will be cleaned out with the matter sampled and removed over the course of about 3 weeks. The matter inside the well will be disposed of lawfully and properly, depending on what method we actually have to use. That's the point of having the blanket contracts. We don't know if we'll have to kind of take it out of there using a jet truck, you know, a vac truck, or if it's better to take it out and put it in a dumpster. It just sort of depends on the sample and how that goes. It could require the engagement of multiple vendors to complete the different aspects of the process, and quotes will be obtained from each of the contractors for the various tasks performed, and the lowest responsible quote will be selected for each task, and that's in the estimated amount of $48,000 coming out of the water and sewer fund. And this will all get done at the same time as everything else is getting done too. So when the new rail system, before the new rail system comes in, they'll clean out the station, they'll do all this stuff. And now is an optimum time to do that while we have a bypass pump in place. so we can clean out the station and have it operating more efficiently.
Can we shoot a TV episode while we're doing it?
Dirty jobs.
Dirty jobs, yes.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford.
I think
Mr.
this is,
Johnson, I gotta ask this question.
don't even say, are we gonna do this in-house?
I know the vast majority of that sewage comes from retail businesses. Is there a filter or a trap that can collect God knows what comes out of there?
No, sir.
So it's just all in there, and and probably what they eating these pumps up, I would probably imagine.
It doesn't help
Jeans,
them.
pairs of jeans, shoes, things like that. People flush that
The
stuff.
pump is just a pump, not a
crazy.
grinder, is that correct?
Well, it's both.
Wait,
it
are you
should-
talking about the new pumps or the pumps that were in place?
Well, the new ones are called grinders,
Yes.
but the others they operate on the same system. It turns it, pushes it out.
So there's really no way of filtering, for lack of a better word.
Put one in the toilet. That would be
Toilet will flush. What you gonna get?
All right, that was my question. Any other questions?
We're gonna have a new system.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. City managers report. Ms. Hume, please don't talk about end-drive pumps.
Well, just really quick, thank you all very much for your support. I know that this is not fun to do, but it is a necessary improvement. Hopefully these improvements will mean that we don't have to make these other improvements years down the way. And I do want to applaud the public utility staff for keeping, I won't say the name of the station, but keeping it running. They've done a great job in some really terrible conditions with a station that should work probably. So thank you, gentlemen, both Courtney Johnson and Steve Brown, and your staff very much. Thank you. Also, I want to say thank you to the community for coming out on Saturday to the Easter egg scramble. It was such a fun day, and for the first time in 2 years, 3 events, we had good weather. I couldn't believe it. It wasn't raining, it wasn't cold. It was actually sunny and awesome. We had about 400 kids. They showed up really early. We're going to have to figure out an activity to do prior to the egg hunt because they were like, just let us go. Come on, just let us go. And they were like ready to go. It was very exciting. So it was a really good day. Thank you very much to not only Economic Development, Taylor Hutt-Wagner and her staff, but took about 6 minutes for 15,000 eggs to disappear. So, and everybody was happy with that. So it was great. It was a good day. The city will be closed this Friday, April 18th, in observance of Good Friday, so happy Easter, everyone. Our city farmers market kicks back up on Sunday, May 4th at 1 o'clock at Stable 41, so we look forward to that again this year. And we also have our pickleball tournament this month. Tony left the room. The pickleball courts will be closed to the public on Saturday, the 19th, while we have a pickleball tournament, but after that, you're welcome to come out and play.
How do we advertise that?
It's on Let's Go Fordo. It's advertised on Let's Go Fordo, and then the entity obviously doing it will advertise it as well. Mhm.
Good.
Cool.
And that's it for me.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. Mayor and council comments. Happy Easter, everyone. Mr. Chop.
No comments, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Crawford.
Happy Easter.
Mr. Rod.
Happy Easter, and Steve and Courtney, good job. Y'all are doing a great job.
Ms. James.
No comment.
Ms. Stennett.
Yes, I'd like to invite everyone out to Clean Catoosa on April 26th. That's that Saturday. All the members of VCC will be there, and we'll look forward to you joining us to plant flowers, plant trees, and clean up the park. That's all, sir. Happy Easter.
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Crawford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This council is in executive session. I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Childs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This council is out of executive session. In executive session, we discuss real estate. Final item on the agenda is adjournment. I'll
Make a
entertain
motion.
to
Second.
adjourn. I have a motion.
Second. I second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second
Or
by
Childs,
Mr. Rogers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.